Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Renison Jeffrey, and this is the Workers' Rights Platform. We are broadcasting live on the Workers' Rights Network. Citizens of the Republic, today being the 11th of the 5th month, 2025, I would have seen it fit to have this conversation with you today based on what would have been pushed in the public domain yesterday on the 10th of the 5th month 2025. Now, there was an article circling on CNC3 News stating Antigua Prime Minister, would have slammed Sean Sobers. And today, the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we must have this important conversation. Today, we must bring reasoning as to why the Antiguan president, Gaston Browne, would have responded like this. And before we jump to conclusions, to you, the members of the public, what I will ask you to do is to follow us along on the separation of facts. Let us go into this with some depths, because in concordance with the response from Gaston Browne, he would have said that Sean Sobers have no moral authority as to speak on issues that would have taken place within his country. And why, before we start to bash any one of the two gentlemen, we must separate facts from fiction and delineate on what is before us. Now, one must ask the question, why Gaston Browne would have jumped at the jugular as Sean Sobers? Now, at the end of the day, a lot of people ain't going to challenge this statement, because there are many of them outside there, social media activists, the people, the ones that would have brought home this election, snatch it from the PNM and put it in the hands of the UNC. Don't believe, let me tell you something. It's not the UNC that won the election, it's the social media activists and them that would have stand up on what is taking place within this country and decide to speak out. So at the end of the day, many of them would have take a biased approach. No, I tell you the truth, because plenty of them pick a side. That is a nice way in saying it. So before we go in to the separation and the delineation, let us go into the different personalities, a little history of what is being said. So at this point in time, I'm going into the history. Let me start with Sean Sobers first. So this is the first take here concerning this thing here with Sean Sobers. Follow along on the screen. So we stop that day.
Trinidad and Tobago politician and attorney. He is a young attorney with over a decade of experience, specializing in civil and commercial litigation, and graduated from the University of London. Sobers has served as a temporary opposition senator in the 11th Parliament and as an opposition senator in the 12th Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. He is a member of the United National Congress, UNC, National Executive as a research officer. He was the UNC candidate for San Fernando West in the 2020 general election and was elected in Tabaquite in the 2025 general election. He is also the Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs as of 2025, engaging in diplomatic matters such as relations with Antigua and Barbuda.
Right, so as you would have seen there, that Sean Sobers is the minister and he has the moral authority. So what made Gaston Browne jump up? So before we go on to that part, let me go into who is Gaston Browne.
Browne, born on February Gaston Alfonso Browne, born on February 9, 1967, in Antigua, is the current Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda and leader of the Labour Party since 2014. Before politics, he was a banker and businessman, serving as a senior bank manager at Swiss American Banking Group managing over $400 million in assets. Browne entered politics in 1999, elected as Member of Parliament for St. John's City West, and served as Minister of Planning, Trade, Industry, Commerce, and Public Service Affairs. He became leader of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, ABLP, in 2012 and led the party to victory in the June 2014 general election, ending 10 years of opposition rule. He was sworn in as Prime Minister on June 13, 2014, also holding the Finance Minister portfolio. He secured re-election in 2018 and 2023, becoming the only post-independence leader in Antigua and Barbuda to win 3 successive terms. His leadership includes expanding domestic ownership in financial services and enhancing tertiary education with the University of the West Indies campus in Antigua. 6. Browne has also been active in regional leadership roles, including chairing CARICOM in 2014 and 2021. Browne grew up in a modest background, raised by a single parent, and has focused on poverty alleviation and community empowerment projects in his constituency, such as a fishery development center, ICT center, and affordable housing. He holds an MBA from the University of Manchester, UK. He is married to Maria Bird Browne and has 4 children.
Right, so that was Gaston Browne. And let us go into the delineation of Thomas Vasquez. As to give more body as to what we are talking about. So this is Thomas Vasquez.
A 21-year Thomas Vasquez, a 21-year-old Trinidadian, went missing in Antigua in mid-April 2025, shortly after returning to work at a marijuana farm believed to be legal but later questioned for its legitimacy. He was last seen on April 15, 2025, after arriving on the island on April 14. Vasquez had been traveling back and forth between Trinidad and Antigua for work on the farm since 2024. On the night of his arrival, he was reported to have spent time drinking with a co-worker and stayed at a couple's home before being dropped off at the farm the next morning. He reportedly spent the day sleeping on-site but disappeared by day's end. Antiguan police arrested 2 individuals connected to the farm during investigations, including a senior male employee and a woman who had spoken with Vasquez on the night of his arrival. Police also searched the farm and the nearby marina for a boat suspected to be linked to Vasquez's disappearance but found no boat. Prime Minister Gaston Browne publicly expressed hope that Vasquez was safe but alleged Vasquez had a history of clandestine travel by boat and involvement in marijuana trafficking from the illegal farm. Browne criticized Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Minister Sean Sobers for raising concerns, accusing him of lacking moral authority due to high crime and missing persons in Trinidad. Browne also dismissed evidence that Vasquez went missing in Antigua, despite ongoing investigations and public appeals from Vasquez's mother. The case has drawn attention to a pattern of unexplained disappearances in Antigua, with calls for regional cooperation and better investigative resources. Vasquez's mother remains actively seeking information and hopes for her son's safe return.
Now, that was the gist of the story. So we give you the members, the citizens of the Republic, a background or, for want of word, a history of who Sean Sobers is. And we also give you a history as to who Gaston Browne is and the body in which they are talking about. So there was an incident that would have taken place in Antigua where a gentleman, Thomas Vasquez, would have went over there to work on a marijuana farm. There are marijuana farms over there in concordance to the research that would have been done here by the research officer. There are legal marijuana farms over there. So what takes place is that Trinidadians, people from other countries, go over there and work on these farms and bring the marijuana here or other parts or on different islands. So they're farming it over there illegally and they're running it contraband. But marijuana is illegal in many countries. It is decriminalized in Trinidad and Tobago, but it is not illegal. You are allowed to have a certain amount in Trinidad. 3 or 4 trees in your yard. If you have more than that, you get charged for cultivation. That is what is taking place currently in Trinidad. So the gentleman would have went over there, something customary, but in concordance to word on the ground and information that have been gathered, when he go over there to work, he finds himself in activities in concordance to word on the ground, because telling stories like this in Trinidad most of the times, it becomes very dangerous. All kind of lawsuit that be sent, so I'm minding my words very carefully here now. So in concordance to words that would have been published or the utterance of Gaston Browne, he would have signed, he find himself in clandestine behavior. So this is the article that was updated it was updated on May 10th, 2025. So this is the article here that is in the Express. Antigua and Barbados Prime Minister Gaston Browne has slammed newly appointed CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers over comments made about missing Trinidad and Tobago national in his country. So let me come to the factor. Sean Sobers is the newly appointed CARICOM Affairs Minister. Come on, Gaston. Does he have the moral authority? Does he have the authority? A matter of fact, let me not go into the moral authority. I believe everybody had the moral. Once you're not a killer, a matter of fact, you have the authority to call out on certain things. But being the minister in CARICOM Affairs, who else have the authority than him than to call out on certain things? But that is not what we are here to criticize. The mere factor that it was said and and they say there is a growing concern in Antigua and Barbados with this missing person trend. We are going to go into that just now. Saying Sean Sobers have no moral authority to comment, Browne told him he should be interested and focus on the hundreds of people reported in Trinidad and Tobago each year. Taken to his Facebook page this morning, Gaston Browne posted, "Here again, the opposition elements have joined with the foreign to condemn our beautiful twin islands. Mr. Sean Sobers, with more than 500 individuals missing in Trinidad annually and hundreds unaccounted for, you have no moral authority to condemn the beautiful country. Instead, you should focus on the exponential increase in crime in your country." And why Gaston getting on like this? Why is Gaston getting on like this? Think the public, because we are going into that now. In Trinidad and Tobago, murders amounts to over 500 on a yearly basis. Missing persons left, right, and center in Trinidad. And the world is noticing. Till criminals migrating to different parts of the world and visa have to be shut down. We have to go through a stringent process to enter certain countries. There are certain visa restrictions that is taking place with us, against us here as nationals in Trinidad and Tobago. This is facts. Now, what Gaston Browne is vexed about is that in Antigua and Barbados, the crime rate is 1200, it's 12 on a yearly basis. And out of the 12, 6 does be solved. A matter of fact, here what it says, according to statistics, for every 10 murder, 6 does be solved. We here in Trinidad and Tobago have a crime issue, and politicians play politics with the issues that are affecting the citizens in this country on a yearly basis. So when we have to talk about the factor that Gaston Browne slam Sean Sobers, it's not because really and truly he don't have the authority to say such a. It's not that. Gaston Browne is alluding to something of morality and more on a spiritual side. The politicians in our country plays politics with the murder rate and the death toll in this country. If at the end of the day, between 2010 to 2024, over $700 billion is spent in this country, and murder toll is that height. And government and opposition are not coming to amicable solution to solve the crime in our country, then what is going on? What is going on here in Trinidad? So in a matter of defense, in terms of where Sean Sobers is concerned. He is the Minister of CARICOM Affairs, and he could speak out on that. In terms of authority, that is unquestionable. But in terms of what is taking place within this country, the Prime Minister of Antigua is blaming the government structure in this country for what we are facing. And what we have to say here about that, some of you that are outside there that are damn hypocrites, some of you, no matter whatever side or your support or you're backing that, but at the end of the day, who feeling it? This man could speak the truth and say, "Yo, what's going on in my country? Out of every 10 murders, only 4 we doesn't really find solution, or we doesn't find the criminal, but 6 out of 10 we does solve." So many of you, let me say, who you support, you will hear them. Oh, who is he to say that? Who is he to talk about the things that is taking place? Sean Sobers is a man that he had the authority. But who is he to tell him that? Many of you who support Sean Sobers, that will be your statement going forward. But we have a problem here in Trinidad and Tobago that needs to be addressed, and it requires all arms of government to be on board as to fix this problem that we are facing here in Trinidad and Tobago. Watch how much money is spent on national security, and we have over 500 murders in Trinidad and Tobago. What is the detection rate? The detection rate in Trinidad and Tobago is 23%. And I believe that the different administrators on the workers' rights platform didn't give justice as to the editorial that would have been placed within the public domain the other day. I really don't know why that was done. But yet still, we must allow ourselves to speak the truth always. It was predicted here on this platform that what is taking place now, we need a divine intervention. There was a particular lady that would have came there and do an interview here with me and said, "But you know, we need to pray to get ourselves out of this that we are facing here." And how much how you take that seriously? The government, the PNM government, the prior government would have hidden the truth from us. Now it is plain as day. What are we going to do here now? Are we going to bring issues in the public domain and constructive criticism that we can go forward? Or you social media activists that are outside there that are getting a little pittance from this party or from that party to spew a particular narrative other than do what you should do, a matter of fact. I ain't gonna say appointed because some of you are not appointed. So to the many of you that are outside here,
many things you heard
social media activists,
many things you heard evildoers, but never cruel. You have corrupted your purpose, and so yourself.
Yeah, many of you are corrupted or yourself. We supposed to be stalwarts here, nudging the government in the direction anytime they come off the tracks. We are supposed to be the ones on the front line blowing the horns of truth and stand where injustice lies. Keeping the accounts of what is taking place and calling a spade a spade. But most of us outside here have taken a side, as I say. Have corrupted their purpose and yourself. Have placed yourself as an object, as a tool to be used by the politician to scrape the shit off their boots. Many of you have become that tool. Many of you have aligned yourself with political parties, social media activists are talking about. The many of you that supposed to be blowing the horn have aligned yourself with political parties to the point that you have become the tool that they is used to scrape the shit off the shoes. Hey, say something now about it, because you know they're saying this about many public domain. I wanted to say so and so. I wanted to call a program in the morning. Yeah, they just call, they say this to me. Many of you have become that tool. Many of you outside there would have failed to be independent to the fact that, yes, election call, it done, one side win. Now is the time the work must continue. And I am in the back here now and I'm watching some of you and I'm saying, what? This is what you have become? Prime Minister Kamala Prasad Bisesa would have announced that we are in a 4-point-something billion deficit. And all of the social media activists and them, all of them quiet. Because they feel the work done and they must get paid now for what they would have did. Shame on you that are outside here. I hope many of you find your way. I hope you find your way back to the light. Who the Lord love, He chasten. And if it is that many of you outside there support a particular party, keep them on track. Keep the checks and the balances. Call them out in the face of foolishness. Keep them on track. Guide them in the proper direction. Don't just agree for agreeing's sake. Guide them. Search for the facts. Bring it to the public domain. That is your purpose. And when I say that, I say all. Now, Marsha Walker would have made a statement. Let me go into the statement because she would have said it correctly. I would have pulled this from on the site, on the Workers' Rights platform, Workers' Rights 868 platform. So, let me see. Just now. Not this one. I'm gonna pull this thing here from. Right, we go in and cut out some of it.
Proper management.
starting it.
Would you trust your money with any and everybody? Would you put your money in a bank where there isn't a proper management, proper track record, or proper security? Political activism isn't about bashing the government. It's not about opposing for opposing's sake or just hating. What you don't understand is political activism actually is meant to keep the government on their toes. It's not about whether it's red, yellow, blue, black, green, whatever. It doesn't matter who it is. The government of the day is in charge of our money. They have their hands on our money, our children's money, and our grandchildren's money. So it is our duty, it is our responsibility to ask hard questions and to keep them accountable. Just like children, if you leave them unsupervised, not attended, and just leave the cookie jar out, they will dip into the cookie jar. Asking hard questions is our way of saying, listen, we're looking, we're supervising, we're paying attention. So trust me, it is the most loyal to country thing that we can do. We're not loyal to political parties. We're loyal to our country. And that is why political activists are actually very important. It's a vital part of any country's democracy and proper governance. You guys could talk about, and the trolls, unfortunately, they're the ones that carry the narrative. And there are some well-meaning people, I have gotten messages saying, Marsha, you shouldn't be subjecting yourself to the kind of online trolling and online hate that I have been experiencing. But the truth is, you look at people like Nelson Mandela, what he endured to fight for the freedom of South Africa. Online trolls, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, the opinions of trolls does not matter. The words of trolls does not matter. There are people, I think about Malala, almost killed. Even Basdio Pandey, he was arrested. Online trolls, we have no idea what other activists go through around the world. No idea. So I hope I did the video just to help Trinidad and Tobago, help the citizens understand the role of activists. And we all should be, in our own form or fashion, political activists, because these people have their hands on our money. And it is our duty to keep them accountable. It is our duty to let them know that we are paying attention. If we don't pay attention, and as I said, children that realize they're not supervised will dip their hands in the cookie jar. They'll peek, they'll stick their hands and see if they can get one, and if they realize the cookie jar is not attended, they will help themselves to every single thing until they're sick. Our duty, Trinidad and Tobago, is not just about dipping our finger at election time. Every single step of the day, of the way, each day, we must ask hard questions. We must force the Prime Minister to hold cabinet meetings and host press conferences. That is what we must do. We must demand that the Minister of Public Utilities go and handle WASA and T&T and stop the tit for tat, the pettiness. We must ask the Attorney General to stop telling us about the debt that he met. But that's another video, because I'm going to go through that in detail. Trinidad and Tobago, we must all become political activists and keep our eyes and our ears and everything that we have on that cookie jar.
Now, to the political dunce and them outside there, many of you will look at that statement as something that is confrontational. Many of you outside there are going to see that statement as Marsha Walker attacking a particular party. I ain't come tonight to call names. Many of you political dunce outside there, that go right over your head. The role that many of you activists that on social media that already choose a side, your role is to keep the government accountable. None of you supposed to be tacit agreeing in tacit agreement with the government. We need a government to be able to function properly within this country. Many of you, just like myself, we would have rejected the PNM government in this country because of the fact that they were out of control. They refused to take any directive from the population that direct them, that put them there, matter of fact. So we, on April 28th, many of us would have went to the poll and vote out the PNM and install a government that we believe is more palpable and is more accountable. Any of the ministers and them that is telling you today that watch out, you're attacking us. The PNM government do that for 9 years. And you ain't saying nothing. Any government that is telling you that today is telling you, Trinidad and Tobago, we don't want Oya to hold us to account. Oya remember what the PNM do, Oya? Don't hold we to no account. Because Oya should have talked. That is not what we want. That is not what we deserve. Because we would have seen under the PNM administration that was done. We would have led protest after protest. And the government would not allow themselves to be accountable to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. We would have left, the bull would have came out of the stable and it wreaked havoc on Trinidad and Tobago. Is that what we want going forward? Simple question, you know. At the end of the day, citizens of the Republic, hold yourself accountable. If you is a person that is of good account, hold yourself accountable. Welcome the comments of the many citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. You see where you do the past government. So to the social media activists outside there, you buck up. It's time to stand for your country and hold steadfast. Let me hold this government. Let me don't keep them, let me don't have them swaying. Let me hold them in place. So to the many of you that would have now joined us, the conversation today would have been based on Gaston Browne and the missing Thomas Vasquez, and concerning the statement that would have made by Sean Sobers, in which we would have said specifically that Sean Sobers really have the authority to speak out on such. But what Gaston Browne was pointing to was them does only have 12 crime, 12 murder for the year. And 10 out of 12, I don't know how that figure's coming, no director, but 10 out of 12, 6 out of the 10, that are sold 6 out of 10. Every 10 murders. So they didn't want no country to restrict no visa and thing from them. So they had was to make a strong separation, a matter of fact, as to what is taking place in Trinidad and what is taking place in Antigua. The arms of government needs to come together and solve this issue that we are having in Trinidad and Tobago, proper smoke we pipe. My name is Venison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform. And to the many of you, thanks for joining us again on that such short notice. To the many mothers that are outside, a happy Mother's Day to you. To Aaron, But son, I'm a matter of fact, I call him this morning. That boy ain't easy. Happy Mother's Day, Josan. Yvette, happy Mother's Day. Michelle, happy Mother's Day. Nakaya, happy Mother's Day. Mitasha, the mother for everybody, happy Mother's Day to you. Everyone outside there can tell you your significant other that I say happy Mother's Day. Good evening to everyone. Hey, Candice. As a matter of fact, happy Mother's Day, Candice. So thanks for being a part of this discussion here with us this evening. And, you know, I hope you joined us on the many more discussions that we are about to have in the future. So we are calling on both the PNM and the UNC administration fairly from Tobago to work together, solve this problem of crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Come together, find a solution to the economic depression that we are having in this country. Stimulate new employment for people. I mean, if certain cutbacks had to take place, consult the public or face the wrath of us here on social media, because we are unrelenting. So the many of you that are coming here with a particular agenda on this program, just know this program here is independent. Yes, I would have run for this area, but that is in the past. Now we are going towards the future, a better Trinidad and Tobago, and a better country. Let's work together. T&T. Thank you.
Lone Wolf speech on Renison Jeffrey, stand and fight. Brothers and sisters, today I stand before you not as a leader of the pack, but as a lone wolf, one who refuses to bow, refuses to submit, and refuses to accept the chains of silence. Renison Jeffrey was not just a man. He was a symbol of struggle, a warrior for justice, a voice that refused to be drowned out by the roaring tides of corruption and oppression. He stood tall against those who sought to break the backs of the working class. He spoke the truth when it was dangerous to do so. And for that, they tried to silence him. But let me tell you this, a man like Renison Jeffrey does not die. His spirit lives on in every worker who refuses to be exploited, in every citizen who demands accountability, in every heart that beats for justice. They want us to live on our knees, scared, obedient, weak. They want us to accept their lies, their greed, their betrayal. But I say no. I choose my own way. And I call on you to do the same. Rise up with me. Let your voices be heard. Let your fists shake the very foundations of injustice. They cannot silence all of us. They cannot break all of us. Because we are stronger than their threats, stronger than their corruption, stronger than their lies. Renison Jeffrey's fight is not over, it has just begun. And I will walk this path with or without you, but I promise you this, those who stand with me will never walk alone. So make your choice. Stand up and fight. Because history does not remember the cowards, it remembers the warriors. Lone Wolf speech on Renison Jeffrey, stand and fight. Brothers and sisters, today I stand before you not as a leader of the pack, but as a lone wolf, one who refuses to bow,